At the request of 28th District Attorney General Gary Brown, TBI agents continue to investigate the circumstances surrounding an officer-involved shooting that occurred here this afternoon near Alamo. Preliminary information indicates the incident began shortly around 2:15 this afternoon when a subject identified as Rodney James Hess, date of birth on him is 4/6/1980, parked his SUV on the off-ramp from 412 East to 88 East perpendicular to traffic. A Crockett County deputy arrived after drivers were obviously not able to get where they wanted to go. He came to the scene and determined soon that he needed backup. Additional officers shortly thereafter arrived here to the scene and reported the subject was refusing officer commands and making multiple erratic statements. At one point, preliminary information indicates that Hess appears to have attempted to use his vehicle, his SUV, to strike the officers at least twice. During that exchange, at least one deputy from Crockett County fired through the front windshield of the SUV, striking Hess. He subsequently died at the Med after being airlifted. No law enforcement officer sustained injury during this incident. At this point, the TBI has a team of agents and forensic scientists who are here on the scene working to gather any and all relevant evidence along with interviews. We'll be compiling all of that information into findings. Throughout the process, we'll be submitting those to the District Attorney General for his further review and consideration. It's important to note the TBI only acts as fact finders in these types of investigations. We make no determination as to whether the deputies' actions were justified. That decision rests solely with the District Attorney General. I don't anticipate that we'll have any additional information to offer through tomorrow morning. You can always check with tbinewsroom.com to see if we've issued an updated statement there. I will compile all of this information into a written statement that I'll put on that blog, so you won't need to worry about trying to type this up and send it to your newsrooms. We'll be sure to put it out on all of our social media channels so that they have access to it as well. I realize you guys are on deadline for tonight. Any questions?
Is Mr. Hess from this area?
No, he has a New Orleans, Louisiana address.
Is it known why he was in Alamo?
We have no idea at this point. We're working to develop exactly what his possible connection were to this area.
But was there a chase at all, Josh?
No, there was no chase that we can speak of. Again, the information that we've been able to develop at this point is that the individual had parked his vehicle perpendicular on the off-ramp. It's actually on the other side of where we are. After he was shot, this is an important detail I failed to mention, I do apologize, but after he was shot, he was able to drive his vehicle a short distance away and actually crashed over this ravine where you see the light right over there. That's where the SUV came to a rest. He was shot over there, then drove his vehicle over here.
Did he have a weapon? Did you find a weapon in his car?
We haven't at this point. We're still examining to see if there was.
But he did attempt to use his vehicle as a weapon.
That's correct, yes.
Have any of the deputies made mention of his behavior being off, maybe under the influence of something?
Well, at this point, we're characterizing the statements, the behavior as erratic. We're working to determine exactly what those circumstances might have been, what he might have said, what he might have done. The work to do that, however, at this point is preliminary.
Is it peculiar that a deputy would fire a shot through his vehicle into another vehicle?
Well, let me be very clear. The deputy did not fire through his vehicle into another vehicle. The deputy merely fired through the vehicle that Mr. Hess was in at the time.
Now, that deputy that shot the gun,
Right.
was he the one who was possibly, I guess, Hess was trying to run over? In his
There
car?
were multiple officers here at the scene when the situation escalated. The information we've been able to determine at this point is that there were multiple officers at multiple points around that vehicle. So suffice it to say, the information suggests that multiple officers were at risk of injury when this situation escalated.
Is it known exactly how many officers were out at the time?
Not at this point. We're working to develop that detail, but suffice it to say, there were at least at this point 4 to 5.
And they were all Crockett County deputies?
At this point, yes.
Were Alamo police involved in this in any way?
I believe so. Again, I don't know the details. We're working to get a full roster of who was here at the scene. I do know Crockett County, possibly Alamo, and again, at least 4, possibly 5, 6 officers here on the scene.
And we heard that Mr. Hess has been out here throughout the week.
Sure.
Is that something that you guys are looking into?
And we're looking to determine exactly his connection to this area, how long he might have been here. Those are still very much questions that we want to answer. When we do these types of investigations, it isn't just the incident itself. We want to know what led up to this point, how we got here, and how this all happened.
I know you guys had a bit of a hiccup getting up here after your whole crew to investigate. Do you guys
Sure.
estimate going late into the evening?
We always take quite a bit of time when we do these investigations. We're pretty meticulous, as you know, when we're working to gather evidence. Yes, we got a flat tire. It happens to the best of us. But we are here on the scene. We've got those forensic scientists who are right now working to gather any and all evidence that might be relevant. We do expect that they have several more hours of work ahead of them.
And is the autopsy being done in Memphis?
I would assume so. I don't know for certain. I can check for you.
And just to double check,
Sure.
was he airlifted?
He was airlifted to the Met.
Do you know what the responding agency was that did the life flight?
I don't. Anything else?
you.
No.
Thank you so